It's a great pleasure to be here with you anytime that you be in Japan or worldwide. Now I'm in Portugal, so it's early morning here, not early afternoon as you in Tokyo. Well, let me share some thoughts. Let me share my presentation here. All right. Okay, so I've been working with longevity for the last 20 something years, and in the beginning I was very amazed with how my grandma, my people that were older than myself would really give me a good perspective on something. So it was something empirical that I had a good relationship with, let's say, aging or older fellows. That I started to work with that perception, with that let's say misunderstanding of what was the framework that actually we live. Unfortunately, when we talk about seniors or anyone 50 plus, not so senior, I am 51, for example. Usually, when you go to the marketplace, there is a unmatching thing over here. What people think on that, and for sure, I'm talking about a Brazilian perspective and a little bit European perspective that we've been working with in the last years. Okay, but when you talk about talents, when you talk about generation of value on the workforce, usually people think on youth. So we are on a very youth-centric mindset. And then when you put the senior in the equation, in the conversation, probably concerns are you are too old for for something, or you are so good that you don't even look like, or you don't even act like a senior, or oh, you look so young, or okay, why are you working so hard when you are 80? Why don't you just rest and take care of yourself? So in the three-phase vision of life, kids grow and study, adults work, and when you get older, you just rest. So this mindset is still going on society, and the same mindset that says, okay, we must keep our youth. We must bring the junior people here. The youth are the future. So everyone who's youth is a great news. But the bad news is that everybody gets older. So you are year after year being invisible for the market, for yourself, for society. And then this brings us to a lot of problems when we are dying much later. We don't need to discuss here that in few generations we have been we got much longer life. But if we don't change this mindset, this youth-centric mindset, and if we don't start to understand that in every phase of our life we get things that are good, we can provide something, and there is this beauty, and in any phase of our life we demand something, we have something to develop, and we have some fragility, and these fragilities and all this power just change throughout life. So it's not like the youth are the best and the the seniors, or whenever you get further from the youth point, it's bad. If we don't change that, we will continue to have this type of data that I will show you. So this data is from Brazil, but we can somehow replicate that worldwide. So the senior people in Brazil continue to being laid off as they get more than 40 years old. 40 years old, they start to being laid off because this mindset, oh, doesn't fit, oh, it's too pricey. As a result of that, these people are alive, these people are have plenty of health. Well, there is a great pressure in our pension system, the private and the public. And more than that, people are companies are struggling for talents, because if they look for just the youth are getting less and less in number. And okay, we can develop a lot of technology to exchange people for machines, but there is something that in any time you can provide to society, and that's our it was our hypothesis and what we've been working in the last 10 years. So if we put in numbers the size of this problem, this is just for Brazil. We could put this worldwide. Well, it's still very hard to not being laid off when you get older. It's still a lot of pressure on numbers and on dollars for the seniors. So we need to reinvent the role of seniors. We cannot just live longer and pretend that as we get older, it's a burn for society. Okay, you have your rights, you can get your pension, that's great, but you can do a lot of things to society. What's your best? What's the things that you could do to change this? We've done like a system plan, how to change this mindset. We are talking about changing a culture that it's ageist and youth centric. And as far as I have traveled and been in contact with companies in Europe, in the US, in Latin America especially, this mindset is all the same. And if we don't change this root cause, it will continue to have consequences for companies without talent, for people getting burned and less health, and for society that is just wasting a lot of talents and money for that. So how do we change that? What we've been doing in the last 10 years, and especially in the last 7 years, we've been developing a lot of technologies to change this pattern. How do we change it? First thing, we need to develop a community to people to reinvent themselves. As we reinvent ourselves, when we are 15-year-old, we present ourselves as the students. When we are 35, after studying university, getting the first job, getting a lot of little experiences, then I present myself as an engineer, for example. But then 50 years old, I not exactly that engineer anymore, but there is no place to me to reinvent myself, to say, okay, I was a student when I was a kid. I was an engineer in my adult life, and now I am 3 points. I don't know, something else. So we need to reinvent. We need a community to that. We need a lot of effort for that. That's what we've been doing. We need a lot of intergenerational connection, so people are connected to our moment. So not a tribe of a generation talking to itself. No, let's everyone talk to everyone, but we need to develop this system, these technologies. Social networks, for example, they develop a lot of bubbles, so they divide ourselves. No, we need to mix people and backgrounds and age. And second, we need to reinvent how we get match in between the talents and market, and then how can these people contribute in new things for the new demands that the world is coming. So that's what we call Labora. So Labora is this end-to-end technology for inclusion or re-inclusion of people that are above 50 years, but more than working, it's reconnection to life, reconnection to itself, in order to provide something to society as in a form of work, in short journeys, in the time that I want. So this can bring well-being for myself, sure, a complement of income, but more than that, inclusion, social inclusion at large scale. And I only be able to do that if we have on the same platform technologies to upskill and reskill all the time. So technology is changing too much. So there is this great change on diversity, on generations that's what we talk here. But there is a great change on how people work and how the velocity of technologies, how they develop. So upskilling and reskilling all the time. And then an end-to-end solution. So this we must provide best solutions or better solutions than the others that we have. So companies don't want to hire people just because of anything, age or gender or whatever. They want something that will give a better result, or in a lower cost, or more effective. So all this engine must be very productive. If it's not productive for companies, and if it doesn't bring well-being and health and amplification of social inclusion, it doesn't work. So it's a win-win thing, and we change completely on the pathway that we are right now. So by doing that, the results that we've been receiving is that people are getting reintegrated into market. They are really willing and happy to really be associated in this new model of work. It's not employee, it's self-employment. So it's based much on gig economy, but with impact-driven gig economy. So to do that, we cannot do everything. So we had to choose areas of business that were changing a lot. So sales is changing a lot. Tech is changing a lot. Experience, hosting, what's the user experience is changing a lot. So these three areas we've been working with a lot of partnerships. So to develop with the market and with academy these new solutions, so to have this win-to-win solution. And we've had a lot of awards and recognitions, but more than that, I want to show you what's the vision on behind. So instead of having, as we had since the Second World War, the way of work is okay, let's work for government or let's work for big companies, big organizations. Our view is that people will be willing to work in different communities, not in company A or B or C, but in different communities. So I'm part of a community of fellows that are developing, that have access to companies and governments, but the most important is the community, not the contract that I'm in, because the contract changes a lot. Okay? Second, is HR processes. So the HR process, as were designed, were youth-centric, curriculum, interviews, the design of career, all of that must change to include everyone at any age. We need to see below the surface of what's my career path, what have I done here? But below is what skills do I have? What skills I am able to develop really fast? So with data, we can get this information much better than we used to have 20 years ago. Third is, instead of having one career, oh, I graduated in science or medicine or engineering and poof, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years working like that. Great, that was our path, but probably it won't be the majority for the majority in the future. We will have like shorter careers and multiple careers and a sequence of reskilling, and in this reskilling I be changing, and I'll have like I'll be like the vendor of a big company and the developer of a startup. I'm both things. I'm not just one. So this is something that is changing a lot, and demography helps us on that. And for sure, new working contracts. So it's not that I am the employee of that company. So I define myself as the company that I belong to. No, I define myself by the skills that I have, by the map of purpose that I know that I present to the world, and the contracts are much shorter, and they don't define me, but they are the field to me to present who I am. But I am not the contract as we used to present ourselves. So there is a new relationship with work. There is a new relationship with life. This looks a lot of concepts, but actually we've been doing this. So seniors that we have in our platform have a lot of education, high education, but they do a diverse numbers of works. How can they do that? The reskilling platform, it's like little things like 1 day or 1 week or 1 month or 6 month length. So the how hard or how long are these courses? They are very different. Okay, but anyone takes its own path. It's not one path for everyone. The truth is everyone has a self-understanding path, a technical path, and path that are very connected to some position. But this I can do all the time. Every week I can start a new one. And by doing that, the system, the technologies get the data and transform into maps of skills and present yourself in a different way. And when you go to work, it's not that you have like a long-term contract, but you have short-term contract. You work for very flexible hours that everyone chooses every 2 weeks how I will be engaged on each contract that I am available to perform. And then there is an app that can organize this. And more than that, we need data to understand who people are and what the performance is. And in the other side, we need the data to understand how this work is good for people. So numbers that we have is that more than 80%, depending on the group, but 80 to 90% of people really are satisfied and willing to get more of this short-term work. And we measure them with WHO, with the World Health Organization Quality of Life Protocol. We adapted it to every day and every 3 months be identifying how this new way of working, this new relationship of working is making good, is developing health. So what have we done in practice? For example, a lot of hosting and user experience in presence and digital for museums, for example, or programming, technical. Oh, this is for the youth. No, doesn't need to be. It could be for people. You can learn how to be a developer, AI prompt engineering. After 60, 70, we've been teaching this a lot with partners such as Oracle, Microsoft, Salesforce, and NVIDIA. And in big companies such as Itaú is the largest bank in Brazil. We've been developing how you host your client in a different way, and not trying to sell things or provide your solution to them, but seniors as understanding who they are, what are their moment, and bringing data and bringing a better experience for the clients. And different companies and all that. Here is a lot of things that we've been doing is with commercial things. So people that were, I don't know, or director or not director or whatever, and then they change the career after 50 or 60, after going through this process, they start to be something else. And by starting to be something else, they can, for example, reconnect to their part of their background. For example, I've been in the banking industry, but I'm not a manager anymore. But after this process, I understand that I can develop a software in fintech, or I can sell a credit for a senior or anyone in a different way. I'm not a seller, but I have the ability to be a salesman. I have the ability to do that, and I have the ability of my first career in banking. So it's a mix of everything, and that's what's humanity. We are not just one thing. We are a diverse things, and that's how work could be. But to do that, we have a great roadmap that it's not only one company or one hub of technology that will do it. So for changing this reality, we have this system change theory that we have to be on board with government, with other tech companies, with NGOs, academy. That's what we've been doing in Brazil and is starting to do in Portugal and in Spain. I would love to exchange more with everyone to see how we could really improve this and change this reality for the best of everyone. So, okay, we can. So that's what we've been approaching. It's a new approach to work. It's a new approach to life. It's new approach on how we not deny our aging process, but we reinforce and re-embrace it and get the best of it and let go what is not good anymore. Thank you.